Béton brut in French directly translates to raw concrete, and that's what this is. Brutalism is an architectural style that came about post-World War II during a major reconstruction era in the UK. Many people seem to have the idea that it was created for the public sector, like housing units, due to its efficiency of few materials and simple design, but this is false. Cedric Hampton says, Brutalism came out of the search for a new symbolic architectural language to supersede classism. It sought to displace the obsessive functionalism and machine aesthetic of the international style, while retaining modernism's tradition of technological experimentation. This style of architecture is largely hated because of its aggressive, bleak quality. I too see this in Brutalism, but these components are precisely what draws me and others in so deeply. Brutalism looks like the future we were promised, the future that movies portrayed to us. With its brooding ambiguity, we gaze on its large surfaces and can only wonder what goes on inside these buildings. Forms of architecture are often spoken about in strong adjectives. Brutalism is often described as brooding, aggressive, overbearing, harsh, bare, tragic, and muscular. These words are also used when describing the process of creating art. As humans, we can find ourselves stuck under suffocating adjectives, making the process of finding new ideas constrained, like your mind is locked in a ring, fighting what you want to create and what you think others want you to, in hopes of finding the most impressive idea that appeals to large numbers. But perhaps we only need to look at what is already there, to the simplicity. Brutalism perfectly encompasses this. It teaches us about the space in between the lines, and what they symbolize. Its use of lines that can stretch across the entire building. When you allow yourself the space to be nothing, that is, this is the place where you can find your most authentic ideas. So what lines do you draw? If you're unsure where to start, what small idea, even if it seems bland, can you land on? How does it contrast two opposing ideas? And where does that lead to? Like the corner of a building, how do those two lines meet? And how does it exist in this environment? These are questions you can ask your own ideas. It is the space that lies between your conclusions. The why. Brutalism is the embodiment of this kind of space. You can't help but wonder what exists between its harsh lines. Sometimes voted as the ugliest building in a city, a large number of people hate Brutalism due to its raw honesty. Things people tend to shy away from. Something I make a big effort to shy away from.
Although, maybe you felt how I did growing up. Never sure how and where to start, but I could be certain of one thing. I knew I had a lot of love. I wanted to observe everything, look at every detail, but didn't know what that really meant or what I could do with it. I just knew it was there. I wanted to hold on to it as much as possible. I know now that this still exists in me, and all I have to know is where to put it. Which is easier said than done.
To be truly raw and honest as to put forward your best ideas and creative projects, you must be willing to face the opinions of others and the truth about yourself. This is daunting, to say the least, a quintessentially human experience, one that we have to face whether we like it or not. To be honest with yourself is to really look yourself in the eye and see them fully. Brutalism reminds me of how I should view things. I commonly find myself being led off into unrealistic ideas, persuaded by sparkly new things, where the grass looks a whole lot greener. And in this magical thinking, I believe it's my ticket to abundance, to everything I have been dreaming. So I run for it, because it's the opposite of what I already have. And what I have is boring, right? This is a cycle that never seems to end. Because once you realize the perfect thing you lusted after wasn't what it seemed, you find yourself right back where you started. Again and again. As Jon Kabat-Zinn says, wherever you go, there you are. This is something my mom always tells me. and it drives me nuts, but that's because it's true. We need only stop, look ourselves in the eye, meet ourselves, because it is the most raw and honest thing you can do. Be like Brutalism. Have the courage to use what you have and make it beautiful.